Hit that bitch, little bro.
Here. Come on, Junior.
What's that bitch?
Hit that bitch. Hit that bitch, little bro.
Here. Come on, Junior.
Man, what the
Oh,
fuck?
wait. Blow it
Now we
out.
smushing it.
Come on.
what to do.
Blow it out.
Wait, no, let him.
Look, I don't really know what the situation is other than the fact that a baby is smoking a blunt and that is not supposed to be fucking happening. You are so wrong for that shit. I don't know if you found humor in this or what it was, but this is just not funny. This is very fucked up. And it's a bit unfortunate to say, but doesn't seem like you're fit to be a mother, okay? Because you would know that that's the wrong thing to do, and you would not want your child, especially a fucking baby, to be doing this shit. So I kinda hope that the baby is relocated to a better spot. Sorry, not sorry. You should have known better.
This is Amos chapter 9, verse 10. All the sinners of my people shall die by the sword, which say that evil shall not overtake nor prevent us. I want to start out by giving all glory and praises to Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai by Shem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles for teaching us this truth. Peace and blessings to the brothers pushing the word throughout the four corners. Peace and blessings to the elect scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. I'm the brother Karab coming at you with a spiritual quick hit lesson. Just going into, man, all the sinners of my people should die by the sword, man. All right. And as you can see, man, in the video, all right, you see 2/3, all right, which consists of you Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and Indians, man. You are classified as 2/3, man. All right. Unfaithful, YN, unprincipled, unmoral behavior individuals, man. That's what you are. Okay. You the same people that said, let the blood be upon us and our children. Let his blood be upon us and our children, man. All right. You chose a murderer over the Prince of Life, man. And every day you always choosing that, man, in your actions. You always denying the Lord. You always looking stupid, being sottish. All right. And when the video started off, you see a little kid smoking a blunt, man. All right. And who do you see? The nigga woman. And then who do you hear? You hear the man in the background. You hear Jake all back there laughing and shit like everything is a game, man. Sitting in here letting that little boy smoke that cigarette, smoke that weed, man. All right. Smoke that blunt. All right, man, 2/3, man, they a disgrace, man. All right, that's why they got to get cut. That's why 2 parts got to cut off and die, man. Okay, that's why they got to go. All right. Going back to Amos 9 and 10, it said, all the sinners of my people should die by the sword, which say the evil should not overtake nor prevent us, man. And guess what, man? When the judgment pop off, these be the same individuals that be put on the goddamn screen on the news talking about they innocent. Talking about why. Like, man, you see why. Their actions. Okay? Their actions. That's why. When we all wake up and understand that the Lord is judging you according to your behavior on the planet Earth, Israel. All right? You Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and Indians, man. Let's go ahead and get Amos. Right? Let's get Amos, the 3rd chapter. This is Amos chapter 3, verse 1. Hear this word that the Lord Yahweh have spoken against you, O children of Israel, and against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all the families in the earth. Therefore will I punish you for all your iniquities. Okay? So the Lord's going to punish you for your unrighteous behavior, and that's unrighteous. But there's plenty of more unrighteous things. Committing adultery, all right? Eating pork. Okay, it's plenty of unlawful things that our people always consistently participate in, man. Willingly participate in. And then when it comes to the prophecies, when it comes to, you know, famine, death, and pestilence, and World War III, and the mark of the beast, all right, Revelations 13 and 16, all right, when it comes to, you know, you feeding them valuable information, right, from the Lord, according, you know, from the Bible, all right, here it is. They don't even want to apply themselves to the word, man. So Jeremiah 4 and 22, it says, for my people is foolish. They have not known me. They are sottish children. Sottish meaning stupid. That is not a compliment, man. That is an insult. That is name calling. The Lord just calling it how it is, man. Our people are foolish. They're stupid. They're retarded. And then they record everything that they do. So when judgment come upon them, the Lord will be justified in his harsh punishment that he will bring upon these 2/3, man. So Jeremiah 4:22, it said, for my people is foolish, they have not known me. They are sottish children, okay? And they have none understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge. They don't know. The Lord's people do not consider, man. They do not consider. They do not take heed, man. Here it is, man. You know, you sitting in here rolling up that blunt, you know, for the purpose of sharing it with, you know, your child, man. It's like the guy said in the video, man. Hey, that child need a new mama, man. He need new parental guidance, man. You see? But all this is a part of the Lord's judgment, because our people do not want to hearken unto the words of Yahweh Shema Shai. They do not want to, you know, seek the Lord. All right. They don't want to walk with sound judgment. All right. Hosea 4:6, it said, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. That thou should be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy power, I will also forget thy children. Okay, so this is really judgment from the Lord, man. You don't want to fear the Lord, you don't want to keep the commandments, then guess what? To hell with you and your family, man, and your kids, man. The Lord don't give a damn if your kid or child a newborn or 2 years old or 3. To hell with you, man. All right? Because, man, if you really cared about, you know, your power, man, you would get your house in order, right? Like the scriptures say. Yep. This is 2nd Esdras chapter 14, starting at verse 13. Now, therefore, set thy house in order. Reprove thy people. Nobody in their right mind in their video reprove nobody. Nobody rebuke, you know, cuss nobody ass out. Nothing, man. Everybody just laughing, thinking that that was just a joke, man. You see? So it said, reprove thy people, and that's what we're doing, man, on the highways and byways. That's what I'm doing in this video. Reproving. All right? Rebuking. Calling Jake out on their bullshit, man. That's not cute. That's insane. It say, comfort such of them as be in trouble, and now renounce corruption. Let go from thee mortal thoughts, cast away the burdens of man, and put off now the weak nature, and set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste thee to flee from these times, man. Hey, our people do not know that evil times is coming. All right? Death, pestilence. All right? Famine. Okay? The Lord is not playing, man. His prophecies is speaking. As we get more into these evil times, man, hey, the Lord prophecy is speaking, man, on an intense, fiery level, man. The Lord is not playing, man. It's going to be great judgment, man. Now you see why the judgment upon our people is justified. Okay? It's really justified, man. All right. This is Zechariah chapter 13, verse 8. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. So, 2/3, 66.6 is gonna pretty much cut off and die, man. Okay? And let's get more into, you know, the term, right? Let's get more into the term of 2/3. Let's get into the meaning. All right. It said the phrase 2 parts will be cut off and die comes from the biblical prophecy in Zechariah 13 and 8. It means that 2/3 or a majority of the people in the land will be destroyed or perish during a time of severe judgment. Okay, let's go ahead and get that severe judgment that's going to come upon our people. All right, because it has their name on it. Right, this is Jeremiah 30 and 7 in the KJV. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. All right, when it talks about that day being great, it's not talking about no joyous feeling. It's talking about great in intensity of judgment. All right, a great horrific day, you know. This is severe judgment, all right? This is what the AI overview is talking about, where a lot of our people, right, 2/3 is going to get put to death, right, during a severe time of judgment, being Jacob's trouble. Jeremiah 30:7. At last, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even a time of Jacob's trouble. Our people, Israel, you Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and Indians, man. All right? But he shall be saved out of it, man. And if you was wise, you will walk in the ways of your forefather Jacob, who feared the Lord and kept his commandments, man. All right? That's our patriarch, man. That's our forefather, man. That's who we should be following the ways of, man. But our people are the opposite of that, man. They're following the ways of Esau, Edom. That's why I say, yeah, your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye would do. Okay? And that's one thing our people do, man. They have a lustful spirit about themselves. They always going to obey their thirst. Okay? They're never going to, consider and be mindful or, have some sense of discipline, man. A sense of order about themselves. They always going to be out of order, looking like fools, being sottish, being an embarrassment unto the nation of Israel. So Jeremiah 30:7 again, at last for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even a time of Jacob's trouble, right? But he should be saved out of it, that he being the elect of the nation of Israel, that 1/3 that Zechariah spoke of, the third should be brought through the fire. All right? Now you know that the Lord is only dealing with the 144,000 and the 1/3, man. Okay? Because they're the obedient children. They're the ones that's going to obey and fear Yahweh Shema Shai. They're going to be caught doing good. They're going to be caught having faith. They're going to consider their ways. All right? They're going to apply the precepts in their daily walk, man. 2/3, not so much. Jeremiah 30:7 in the NLT. In all history, there has never been such a time of terror. So think about any historical event that happened on the planet Earth. All right. Think about the Great Depression. All right. When the money system collapsed. All right. How people was acting. Think about the Atlantic slave trade with the Negroes, man. How vicious that was. Think about the Trail of Tears. Think about when Cristobal Colon came over here and slayed the Native Americans, man. Think about any time. All right. That was so horrific. That brought you low in the spirit, man. Think again, man. Because Jacob's trouble is going to top all the historical events that happened on the planet Earth. No day is going to be severe like the day of Jacob's trouble. Jeremiah 30:7 in the NLT. In all history, there has never been such a time of terror, and it should be a time of trouble for my people Israel. And yet in the end, they will be saved. It's talking about the elect. We know 2/3 they're going to come through the loins of the elect in the kingdom. All right, they're going to come back with Hebrew huggies, man. Because they just can't cut it on this side, man. They just couldn't get right when the time was needed. All right. The phrase 2 parts will be cut off and die comes from the biblical prophecy in Zechariah 13:8. It means that 2/3 or a majority of the people in the land will be destroyed or perish during a time of severe judgment or trial, while the remaining 1/3 will survive and be tested. Okay. And then it says the broader meaning, right? The broader meaning. Okay. The theme of it, the judgment. The prophecy speaks of a severe spiritual and physical cleansing where the unfaithful or disobedient majority of the population faces destruction. Okay, because guess what, man? We are living in a time where unfaithfulness is at an all-time high. But the remnant, right? The remaining 1/3 is brought through the fire to be refined and tested like silver or gold, representing a faithful group that the Most High preserves as his people. Okay? And just to shine more light on that so you can get an understanding. Give me one moment, trying to get a scripture. Yep, here we go. This is Romans 9:6. Not as though the word of Yahweh Shema Shai have taken none effect, for they are not all Israel which are of Israel. And what is that saying in particular? Right? What they're saying is, though they be Israelites, all right, in though they be Israelites, all right, in the spirit, all right, because that's how we identify that we're the children of the Lord, you know, like Romans 8:16. It says the spirit, okay, the things, the historical things that happen unto us, the curses, the blessings, all right. This is just more proof that we're those people, all right. But when it comes to putting forth the action, all right, when it comes to showing forth order, when it comes to walking with wisdom, all right, the 1/3 and the 144,000, they got that in the bag. But 2 parts, man, they just it's it's a pesticide within them to where they just always have to be rebellious. Okay, they just always have to be rebellious. They always got to go against, man. Okay. Because like the scriptures tell you, it said these people, man, they speak much with their lips, but their heart is far from me, man. And you know that they don't really know the Lord for real. Going back to Jeremiah 4:22, man, they don't know the Lord, man. All right. Let me get that. All right. Romans 9 and 5 meaning, so you can understand. Nine and 6, my bad. 9 and 6 meaning, right? Romans 9 and 6. It is not as though the word, right, the Most High word had failed, for not all who are descendants from Israel are Israel. This means the Most High promise to his people did not fail, because being a true child of the Most High depends on faith and divine promises, right? Actions, right? It said not just physical birth or ethical, right, ethnic background, okay? Not just physical birth and ethnic background. It's the actions of a person, man. All right? It said Paul explains that physical descendants from Abraham and Jacob does not automatically make someone a part of the true spiritual Israel, right? Which is why the Lord called them what? Reprobate silver. All right, let's go ahead and get that. This is Jeremiah 6:30. It say, reprobate silver shall men call them, because the Lord have rejected them. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the term reprobate. And now you're going to understand why the Lord put a difference between 2/3 of the nation of Israel and the 144,000 of the nation of Israel, plus the 1/3. Okay. It said reprobate, New Oxford American Dictionary, an unprincipled person often used humorously or affectionately. It say in Calvinism, a sinner who is not of the elect and is predestined to damnation. Okay, a sinner who is not of the elect. All right, because the elect, they're going to have the fear of the Lord within them at all times, man. They're going to do what's right, man. Okay, they're going to do what's right, man. And they're not going to let up. All right, they're going to do the things that's pleasing unto you. How about Shema Shai, man? Okay, and they're going to remain faithful. But 2/3, 2 parts, they got to be cut off and die. Man, they're going to be a part of that severe judgment that the Lord is going to bring upon them, man. Okay? This is Jeremiah 11:11, my favorite precept, man. I'm going to start at 10. They are turned back to the iniquities of their forefathers, which refused to hear my words. They went after other gods to serve them. The house of Israel and the house of Judah have broken my covenant, which I made with their fathers. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, behold, I will bring evil upon them, which they should not be able to escape. And though they shall cry unto me, I will not hearken unto them. Okay? So though they cry, unto the Lord during their severe time of judgment, all right, that they well deserve, okay? Though they cry unto the Lord, at the end of the day, man, the Lord is not going to hear it, because you had an ample enough time to do right, to make it right, all right, to do what's required, which is fear the Lord and keep the commandments. But you was over here, giving a blunt to your child to smoke, or eating pork, or committing adultery with the next man's wife, or, just being a mo, just doing whatever you want to do, man. You had no thought of how about Shema Shine your mind in the decisions and thoughts that you made on the planet Earth. So therefore, you will be judged according to your actions, according to your prideful, self-willed actions, man. Okay? You had a chance to consider. You had a chance to meditate, all right? To not do, to repent. When the doors are open, when the doors of repentance was open, you had a chance to turn back, but you didn't take it, man. Or you didn't apply yourself. So, the Lord just going to judge a lot of our people, man. 2 parts will be cut off, man. Okay? They will face severe judgment. Shalom.